Quiet signals often arrive long before real damage begins. The human body rarely collapses without warning. It whispers first. Soft discomfort, small changes, a little fatigue that feels unusual, a strange heaviness after meals, a mind that feels slower than before. These signals appear quietly and leave quietly. Most people brush them aside and continue with their routine. Days pass, months pass. The whispers continue, but they slowly grow louder. What once felt like a small inconvenience slowly turns into a pattern. And then one day, during a routine test or an unexpected doctor visit, the truth appears in a single word diagnosis. Many people think illness arrives suddenly, but science shows something very different. The body usually begins sending warnings years before a serious condition develops. The problem is not that the signals are invisible. The problem is that most people never learn how to recognize them. Modern life makes it very easy to ignore these early signs. Work schedules become heavier, sleep becomes shorter, stress becomes constant. The body adapts for a while, but it also keeps leaving clues. A sudden drop in energy during the afternoon, brain fog that makes simple tasks harder than before, a stubborn layer of belly fat that refuses to disappear even with effort, frequent bloating after meals, small headaches that come and go without a clear reason. Many people treat these signs as normal parts of life, but the truth is more serious. These are often early warning messages from complex systems inside the body: metabolism, hormones, the gut, the brain, and the immune system are constantly communicating. When one system begins to struggle, the others react. The body does not stay silent during this process. It sends signals in small and subtle ways. Researchers in metabolic health have discovered something fascinating. Long before conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or chronic inflammation appear, the body enters a long, silent phase. During this phase, damage builds slowly beneath the surface while outward symptoms look harmless. Energy levels decline. Stress hormones stay elevated. Blood sugar becomes unstable. The brain struggles to maintain focus. The gut microbiome begins to change. None of these shifts feel dramatic at first. They are easy to ignore, but together they form a pattern that reveals an important truth. The body is asking for attention. Another surprising fact is how early some of these signals begin. Studies in preventive medicine show that metabolic problems can start developing 10 or even 15 years before a person receives a diagnosis. During that long window, the body constantly tries to correct the imbalance. Hormones adjust. The liver works harder. The pancreas releases more insulin. The immune system increases its activity. All of this effort is meant to protect the body, but it also produces small side effects that people experience every day without realizing their meaning. Constant fatigue is one of the most common signals. Many people blame their job, their schedule, or their age, but chronic fatigue often reflects deeper metabolic stress. Another signal appears around the waistline. Belly fat is not only about appearance, it is strongly connected to hormone activity and inflammation. When the body stores fat around the abdomen, it often means that the stress system is working overtime. The brain also sends powerful warnings when something inside the body begins to shift. Difficulty concentrating, slower thinking, and frequent forgetfulness are often dismissed as normal mental tiredness. In reality, the brain depends heavily on stable blood sugar and balanced hormones. When these systems become unstable, cognitive clarity declines. The brain fog many people experience during the day is not simply a lack of coffee or sleep. It is sometimes a reflection of deeper imbalances in metabolism and inflammation. Even the digestive system joins this communication network. Bloating, gas, acid reflux, and irregular digestion may look like small inconveniences, but the gut is closely connected to the immune system and the brain. When digestion begins to struggle, it often means the body is trying to tell a larger story. One of the most interesting discoveries in modern health science is that the body rarely stays silent when something begins to go wrong. It speaks through patterns, repeated tiredness, repeated digestive discomfort, repeated mood changes. Each signal alone may look harmless, but together they form a message. Ignoring these early warnings does not make them disappear. Instead, the body slowly increases the volume of the signal. A whisper becomes a stronger sensation. A mild symptom becomes a daily problem. Eventually, the body reaches a point where it can no longer maintain balance on its own. That is when medical conditions become visible. Many people believe that disease appears suddenly, but in reality, the body spent years trying to prevent it. Another lesser-known fact is that the body is designed to heal and recover when these early signals are taken seriously. Small changes in lifestyle can often reverse many early warning signs before they develop into serious conditions. Nutrition, sleep quality, stress control, and movement patterns all influence how the body manages inflammation and metabolic health. When these factors improve, many warning signs begin to fade. Energy returns, digestion stabilizes, mental clarity improves. The body slowly restores balance. But this recovery only happens when people learn to listen before the signals grow louder. This video will uncover some of the most common warning signs the body sends before larger problems appear. These are signals millions of people experience every day without recognizing their meaning. By the end of this video, you will understand how fatigue, brain fog, stubborn belly fat, and digestive discomfort can reveal deeper health patterns inside the body. You will also learn why modern lifestyles make these signals easier to ignore and why recognizing them early can protect your long-term health. Some of these facts may challenge common beliefs about how illness develops. Others will reveal how incredibly intelligent the human body really is when it tries to protect itself. Stay with this video until the end because one of the most important lessons about health is not about treating disease. It is about recognizing the quiet warnings that appear long before disease begins. Understanding these early messages can completely change the way you see your own body and the signals it sends every single day. Welcome to the channel, where we explore simple health truths and the hidden science behind how the body really works. If you want to understand your body better and learn how to protect your health before problems begin, make sure to subscribe and join this growing community that believes prevention is far more powerful than cure. A quiet pattern exists in the way most people respond to their health. The body begins sending small signals, but the response is almost always the same. The signal is ignored. Life moves quickly. Responsibilities demand attention. Work deadlines appear every week. Family duties fill the rest of the day. In the middle of all this activity, the body tries to communicate. The message is rarely loud at the beginning. It arrives as a small discomfort or a change that feels easy to dismiss. Instead of paying attention, most people create simple explanations. They say it is just stress. They say it is normal. They say it will go away after a few days of rest. This habit is so common that it feels almost natural, yet it slowly becomes one of the most dangerous habits people develop over time. The body is not designed to move from perfect health directly to serious disease. That is not how human biology works. The body always tries to protect itself first. It adjusts hormones, it changes energy production, it modifies metabolism. When these adjustments begin to struggle, small warning signals appear. These signals are early alerts that something inside the system is no longer balanced. Unfortunately, modern lifestyles make these signals easy to overlook. Because they are not painful or dramatic, they are treated as normal parts of everyday life. This habit of waiting for serious symptoms creates a silent gap between early warning and actual illness. During this gap, the body continues trying to correct internal problems while the person remains unaware of what is happening. The liver works harder to process nutrients. Hormones fluctuate more than usual. The immune system becomes more active. Cells attempt to adapt to constant stress. All of this activity happens quietly beneath the surface while the outward signals remain small and subtle. People often believe that illness begins when symptoms become strong enough to interrupt daily life. In reality, illness often begins long before that moment. The body has already been struggling for months or even years. Small signals appear repeatedly, but they are dismissed again and again. A person feels tired in the morning but continues with the day. A meal causes bloating, but the reaction is ignored. Concentration becomes weaker, but coffee seems like a quick solution. These small responses create a pattern of neglect that slowly pushes the body further away from balance. One of the earliest and most common warning signals the body sends is constant fatigue. This type of fatigue is very different from the tiredness that follows a long day of work. It does not disappear easily after rest. It returns again the next morning, even after several hours of sleep. Many people wake up already feeling low on energy. The body feels heavy and the mind feels slower than usual. The person assumes that work pressure or daily stress is responsible. These explanations feel reasonable because modern life is indeed demanding. However, constant fatigue often reflects something deeper happening inside the body. Energy production inside the body depends on several systems working together smoothly. The cells rely on stable blood sugar levels to produce energy efficiently. Hormones help regulate when energy should be released or stored. The mitochondria inside cells convert nutrients into usable fuel. When any part of this system becomes unstable, the body struggles to maintain consistent energy throughout the day. Instead of smooth energy flow, the person experiences sudden drops in energy levels. Blood sugar imbalance is one of the most common causes behind persistent fatigue. When the body cannot maintain stable glucose levels, energy fluctuates dramatically. A person may feel alert for a short period after eating, followed by sudden exhaustion a few hours later. This cycle repeats throughout the day, creating a feeling that the body is constantly running low on power. Many people respond by consuming more caffeine or sugary snacks, which temporarily raise energy levels but often worsen the underlying instability. Hormonal stress also plays a significant role in long-term fatigue. The body produces stress hormones like cortisol to help manage challenges and maintain alertness. In short bursts, cortisol is useful. It prepares the body to respond quickly to demanding situations. However, when stress becomes constant, cortisol levels remain elevated for long periods. This continuous activation drains the body's energy systems. Sleep quality declines. Recovery becomes slower. The person wakes up feeling unrefreshed even after spending enough hours in bed. Metabolic health also influences how the body produces and uses energy. Metabolism is the process through which the body converts food into fuel for cells. When metabolism becomes inefficient, the body struggles to access stored energy properly. This inefficiency often appears as persistent tiredness. The person may eat regular meals and still feel exhausted because the body cannot process nutrients effectively. Fatigue is often treated as a normal consequence of modern living, but the body rarely accepts chronic exhaustion as normal. When fatigue continues day after day, it often means the internal energy system is working harder than it should. The body is trying to maintain balance while dealing with stress, poor sleep, unstable blood sugar, or inflammation. The tired feeling becomes a quiet message that something inside the system needs attention. Another signal that the body sends during early metabolic imbalance appears around the waist. Stubborn belly fat is one of the most misunderstood warning signs in modern health. Many people believe body fat is purely about calories or physical activity. They assume that genetics or aging automatically lead to weight gain around the abdomen. These explanations sometimes contain partial truth, but they do not reveal the full biological story. Fat stored around the abdomen behaves differently from fat stored in other parts of the body. Abdominal fat is strongly influenced by hormones, particularly cortisol and insulin. When stress levels remain high for long periods, cortisol encourages the body to store energy in the form of fat near the organs in the abdominal area. This response originally evolved as a survival mechanism. In times of danger or scarcity, storing energy close to vital organs helped humans survive. In modern life, however, chronic stress triggers this response even when food is abundant. Insulin also plays a powerful role in fat storage. This hormone helps move glucose from the bloodstream into cells where it can be used as energy. When a person frequently consumes large amounts of refined carbohydrates or sugary foods, insulin levels remain elevated for long periods. Over time, the body becomes less sensitive to insulin. This condition is known as insulin resistance. When insulin resistance develops, the body begins storing more energy as fat instead of using it for fuel. The abdomen often becomes the primary storage area during this process. A person may notice that weight gain appears mostly around the stomach while other parts of the body remain relatively unchanged. Even when diet and exercise improve, this belly fat can remain stubborn. The body continues storing energy because it interprets internal stress signals as a reason to conserve resources. Chronic inflammation also contributes to abdominal fat accumulation. Inflammation is the immune system's response to injury or threat. In small amounts, it helps the body heal and defend itself. When inflammation becomes constant, however, it disrupts metabolic balance. Cells become less efficient at processing nutrients. Hormones lose their normal rhythm. Fat storage increases as the body attempts to protect itself from perceived stress. This type of fat is not simply an aesthetic concern. It surrounds important organs such as the liver and intestines. Because of this location, abdominal fat influences how these organs function. It releases inflammatory chemicals that affect the entire metabolic system. This is why stubborn belly fat is often connected to conditions such as insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and cardiovascular problems later in life. Many people attempt to eliminate this fat by focusing only on exercise or strict dieting. While physical activity and balanced nutrition are essential, they do not always solve the underlying hormonal signals that cause the fat storage in the first place. If cortisol remains high and insulin resistance continues, the body may still behave as though it is under constant stress. In this situation, the stubborn fat becomes a visible signal that deeper metabolic processes need attention. The brain also reveals early warning signals when internal balance begins to shift. One of the most common mental symptoms people experience is brain fog. This condition creates a sense of mental heaviness and confusion. Thoughts move slower than usual. Concentration becomes difficult. Simple tasks require more effort than before. Memory feels unreliable, and words sometimes disappear during conversations. Brain fog often leads people to assume they are simply tired or distracted. They increase caffeine intake, hoping to sharpen their focus. Coffee may create a short burst of alertness, but the effect rarely lasts long when deeper biological factors are involved. The brain consumes a significant portion of the body's energy supply. Although it represents a small percentage of body weight, it requires a large and consistent flow of glucose and oxygen to function properly. When blood sugar levels fluctuate rapidly, the brain receives unstable fuel supply. This instability can quickly affect cognitive clarity. Unstable blood sugar often produces cycles of mental sharpness followed by sudden mental fatigue. After eating foods high in refined sugar or simple carbohydrates, blood glucose rises rapidly. The body releases insulin to bring glucose back down. Sometimes this process overshoots and blood sugar falls too low. When this drop occurs, the brain experiences a shortage of its preferred energy source. The result is difficulty focusing, slower thinking, and a strong desire for more quick energy. Sleep quality also has a major influence on mental clarity. Deep sleep allows the brain to restore its energy balance and remove metabolic waste that accumulates during waking hours. When sleep becomes fragmented or insufficient, this cleaning and restoration process is interrupted. The brain begins the next day already under strain, which can create persistent fogginess throughout the day. Another factor influencing brain fog lies in the digestive system. The gut and brain communicate constantly through a complex network known as the gut-brain axis. Microorganisms living in the digestive tract produce chemicals that influence mood, cognition, and inflammation. When the balance of these microorganisms shifts due to poor diet, chronic stress, or lack of fiber, signals traveling from the gut to the brain can change dramatically. An unhealthy gut environment may increase inflammatory signals that reach the brain. Inflammation affects how neurons communicate and process information. This can create feelings of mental sluggishness and reduce concentration. In this way, digestive health directly influences mental clarity, even though the connection may not be obvious at first. Dehydration also contributes to cognitive fatigue. The brain is highly sensitive to changes in fluid balance. Even mild dehydration can reduce concentration and increase feelings of mental fatigue. Many people consume coffee or sugary drinks throughout the day but drink very little water. Over time, this habit places additional stress on the brain's ability to function efficiently. When brain fog appears regularly, it often indicates that one or more of these systems are struggling to maintain balance. The brain is signaling that its fuel supply, rest cycle, or communication with the gut is not functioning optimally. Although the sensation may feel mild compared to physical pain, it is still a meaningful message from the body's control center. Each of these signals, fatigue, stubborn belly fat, and brain fog, reflects the same underlying truth. The body communicates through patterns rather than sudden crises. It attempts to maintain stability for as long as possible while quietly revealing signs that something inside the system requires attention. Ignoring these patterns does not stop the internal processes that created them. Instead, the signals slowly become more frequent and more noticeable as the body continues its effort to restore balance. Another signal the body sends often begins in the digestive system. It does not arrive as a dramatic emergency. It usually starts with small discomforts that people experience after meals or at random times during the day. Bloating appears after eating, gas builds up in the stomach, a burning sensation slowly rises in the chest after certain foods. Digestion becomes unpredictable. Some days the stomach feels calm. On other days it feels heavy, slow, or irritated. Many people treat these experiences as minor inconveniences that come with modern eating habits. They swallow an antacid, drink soda, or simply wait for the discomfort to pass. Because these symptoms appear common, they are rarely taken seriously. Yet the digestive system is one of the body's most sensitive communication centers. The gut is not simply a place where food is broken down. It is one of the most complex systems in the human body. Inside the digestive tract lives a vast ecosystem of microorganisms known as the gut microbiome. Trillions of bacteria work constantly to break down nutrients, produce vitamins, regulate inflammation, and communicate with the immune system. This microscopic world plays a powerful role in how the body functions every day. When the balance of this system begins to shift, the digestive system is often the first place where signals appear. Bloating is one of the most common digestive signals. It occurs when gas accumulates in the digestive tract and stretches the stomach. Sometimes this gas forms because food is not fully digested. When certain nutrients reach the intestines without being properly broken down, bacteria ferment them and produce gas as a byproduct. This process is natural in small amounts, but when digestion becomes inefficient, gas production increases. The stomach feels tight and swollen, creating the uncomfortable sensation many people describe as bloating. Gas itself is another signal that the digestive system is struggling to maintain balance. While some gas production is normal, excessive gas often means the gut microbiome has shifted away from its healthy state. Certain bacteria may begin dominating the environment while others decline. This imbalance changes how food is processed in the intestines. Fermentation increases, and gas becomes more frequent and noticeable. The body is quietly indicating that the digestive ecosystem needs attention. Acid reflux represents another warning signal from the digestive system. It occurs when stomach acid moves upward into the esophagus, creating a burning sensation in the chest or throat. Many people believe acid reflux happens because the stomach produces too much acid. In reality, the problem often begins with weakened digestive coordination. The valve that separates the stomach from the esophagus may not close properly. Pressure inside the stomach increases after large meals or when digestion slows down. This pressure pushes acid upward, creating discomfort that people recognize as heartburn. Irregular digestion also reveals important clues about gut health. Some people experience frequent constipation, where the digestive system moves slowly and waste remains in the intestines for extended periods. Others experience loose digestion or sudden urgency after meals. These patterns indicate that the complex muscle movements controlling digestion are no longer working smoothly. The gut relies on a carefully coordinated rhythm of contractions to move food through the digestive tract. When this rhythm becomes disrupted, digestion loses its natural balance. These digestive symptoms may seem small, but they reflect the deeper relationship between the gut and the rest of the body. The digestive system is strongly connected to immunity. A large portion of the immune system actually lives within the lining of the intestines. This location allows immune cells to monitor what enters the body through food and bacteria. When the gut becomes irritated or inflamed, the immune system reacts immediately. Over time, chronic digestive imbalance can lead to persistent immune activation. The body begins responding to harmless substances as though they are threats. The gut also communicates constantly with the body's hormonal system. Hormones control appetite, metabolism, and energy balance. Signals from the digestive tract influence when these hormones are released. If digestion becomes inefficient, these signals may become distorted. Hunger hormones can rise at unusual times. Fullness signals may become weaker. Blood sugar regulation becomes less stable because the body struggles to coordinate nutrient absorption with insulin release. Metabolism is closely tied to gut health as well. The microbiome helps break down complex nutrients and convert them into forms the body can use for energy. When this system functions well, metabolism operates efficiently. When the microbiome becomes unbalanced, nutrient processing becomes less effective. The body may absorb too much energy from certain foods or fail to obtain enough nutrients from others. These disruptions slowly influence weight regulation and energy levels. Mental health is also deeply connected to the gut. The digestive system produces a large amount of neurotransmitters that influence mood and mental clarity. Serotonin, a chemical strongly linked to emotional balance, is largely produced in the gut. Signals from the digestive tract travel to the brain through nerves and chemical messengers. When the gut environment changes, these signals change as well. Anxiety, irritability, and mental fatigue sometimes appear alongside digestive discomfort because the gut-brain connection is constantly active. Ignoring these digestive signals allows the underlying imbalance to grow stronger over time. What begins as occasional bloating may slowly become frequent discomfort after meals. Acid reflux may appear more often and require regular medication. Irregular digestion may shift from occasional episodes to daily patterns. The gut is not simply reacting randomly, it is responding to stress, diet, sleep patterns, and the overall state of the body. The digestive system acts as one of the body's earliest alarm systems because it interacts directly with the outside world through food and bacteria. Every meal introduces new substances that the body must process safely. If the internal environment is not prepared to handle these substances, the digestive system reacts quickly. Bloating, gas, reflux, and irregular digestion are the signals that reveal these reactions. Despite these clear messages, most people continue ignoring them. The reasons behind this habit are deeply psychological. Human attention naturally focuses on problems that feel urgent or painful. Small discomforts rarely create enough pressure to demand immediate action. When a symptom appears occasionally and then disappears, the brain assumes the problem has solved itself. This creates a pattern where early warnings are repeatedly dismissed. Modern life also trains people to push through discomfort. Busy schedules leave little time to examine small health changes. Work obligations demand focus even when the body feels tired or unwell. Many people believe productivity must continue regardless of physical signals. As a result, they learn to silence the body's messages instead of exploring their meaning. Another reason people ignore early signals is that these symptoms often come and go. A person may experience bloating one day and feel normal the next. Fatigue may appear during a stressful week but disappear during a vacation. Because the symptoms are inconsistent, they seem less important. The brain interprets them as temporary reactions instead of ongoing patterns. Pain intensity also influences how people respond to symptoms. Severe pain forces attention immediately. Mild discomfort does not create the same urgency. Early warning signals are usually mild by design. The body hopes the person will recognize the pattern before stronger symptoms become necessary. When those mild signals are ignored, the body gradually increases the strength of the message. This progression follows a simple pattern. A small warning appears. The signal repeats. If it continues to be ignored, the body raises the intensity. What began as occasional fatigue becomes constant exhaustion. Mild digestive discomfort becomes daily irritation. Slight mental fog becomes difficulty concentrating for long periods. The body moves from whispering to speaking louder. This escalation happens because the underlying imbalance continues developing while the signals are dismissed. Cells remain under stress. Hormones remain unstable. Inflammation slowly spreads through tissues. The body cannot maintain balance indefinitely under these conditions. When early adjustments fail, stronger symptoms appear to demand attention. Many people only begin paying attention when the symptoms interfere with normal life. At this stage, the body has already been struggling for a long time. The signals that once appeared quietly are now impossible to ignore. Doctors may identify conditions such as metabolic disorders, chronic inflammation, or hormonal imbalance. The person feels surprised because the diagnosis appears sudden, yet the body had been signaling the problem long before that moment. Understanding this pattern changes how early symptoms should be viewed. Instead of seeing them as annoying inconveniences, they can be recognized as valuable information. The body constantly monitors its internal environment and reports when something needs adjustment. These messages are not punishments. They are protective signals designed to prevent deeper problems from developing. Listening to these signals early can transform how health evolves over time. When fatigue first appears, improving sleep patterns and stabilizing nutrition can restore energy balance. When digestive discomfort begins, adjusting food choices and supporting gut health can reduce inflammation before it spreads. When brain fog develops, managing stress and hydration can restore mental clarity. Small changes often produce powerful results when they occur during the early stages of imbalance. The body has an extraordinary ability to repair itself when the conditions for healing are present. Cells regenerate. Hormones rebalance. The microbiome adapts quickly to supportive environments. Many early warning signs fade naturally once the body receives what it needs to function properly. Timing plays a critical role in this process. When signals are recognized early, the body still has strong resilience and flexibility. Systems can return to balance relatively quickly. If signals are ignored for long periods, the body must work much harder to recover. Damage accumulates, and some changes become more difficult to reverse. Early signals therefore represent an advantage rather than a threat. They provide an opportunity to act before serious problems appear. A person who understands these signals gains valuable insight into how the body operates. Health becomes less mysterious because the body is constantly providing feedback about its internal condition. Every sensation, every shift in energy, every digestive change carries information. The body communicates continuously through these patterns. It adjusts its responses based on stress, sleep, nutrition, and environment. When balance begins to drift, the signals begin quietly. The body is not working against the person experiencing these symptoms. It is attempting to protect itself from deeper harm. Fatigue encourages rest. Digestive discomfort encourages better food choices. Brain fog encourages recovery and balance. These signals are protective strategies designed by millions of years of biological evolution. Each symptom acts like a message delivered by the body's internal systems. The message may be soft at first, but its purpose remains clear. It asks for attention. It asks for change. It asks the person to recognize that something inside the system requires care. The body continues sending these messages every day through sensations that many people overlook. Energy levels rise and fall depending on internal balance. Digestion reacts to food quality and stress levels. The brain reflects the stability of blood sugar and sleep cycles. All of these signals form a conversation between the body and the person living inside it. This conversation never truly stops. The body constantly evaluates its condition and responds accordingly. Every reaction carries meaning even when it appears small or ordinary. The signals become stronger only when the earlier whispers are ignored. The deeper truth behind these warning signs is simple. The body is not waiting to fail. It is trying to survive and maintain balance under changing conditions. Every small symptom represents an attempt to guide attention toward a hidden imbalance. The most important question then becomes very simple and very personal. When the body speaks quietly through fatigue, digestive discomfort, or mental fog, does the message receive attention or does it fade into the background of daily life? The signals continue either way, repeating their message patiently as the body waits for someone to listen. The human body speaks in quiet ways long before serious problems appear. A little fatigue that refuses to leave. A stomach that feels uncomfortable after meals. A mind that struggles to stay clear and focused. These signals may seem small, but they are rarely meaningless. They are the body's way of protecting itself and guiding attention to what needs care. When these messages are ignored again and again, the body eventually has no choice but to make the signal louder. That is why many people feel shocked when health problems suddenly appear. The truth is that the body had been sending messages for a long time, patiently waiting for someone to listen. Learning to notice these signals can change everything. It allows problems to be addressed early. When the body still has the power to recover quickly, energy can return, digestion can stabilize, mental clarity can improve. Many long-term health problems begin with small imbalances that grow quietly over time. Paying attention early turns those warning signs into opportunities instead of regrets. The body is not working against you. It is constantly trying to protect you and guide you back to balance. If this video helped you understand your body in a new way, take a moment to support the channel, like the video, so more people can learn these simple health truths. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next video, where we break down the hidden signals your body sends every day and what they really mean. And share this video with someone who always says, "It's nothing, I'm fine," because sometimes the smallest symptoms carry the biggest warnings.